Lauren, the Chancellor called today a tragic day for the campus community. We now know that one faculty member is dead after this shooting on campus. The campus police chief says they're working with the FBI and a host of other agencies to find out what happened and why. They say they received a 911 call at 1:02, and once they arrived to the Caudill Labs, they found one person deceased. We also heard from university police. They say they didn't give the all clear until they were sure students on campus were safe. They did note that the gun used in this incident has not been found. There are a variety, again, of agencies working this case, from local agencies, campus police, to the FBI. They say it's helpful to have the suspect alive because it will help them find out the motive, find out the why and the how, what led up to this incident. And of course, we are also hearing that classes have been canceled, of course, for the rest of today, but also tomorrow. Steve and Lauren.
Akilah, there was one person whose question we couldn't hear very clearly toward the end there. It sounded like a student. And Kevin Guskiewicz very clearly was working to comfort that person and more broadly the community. Was it that, in fact, a student who asked the question?
It actually was not. It was our photographer, our photojournalist, Bob G. He asked the question. He said, hey, you know, we've got 3 students in the room here. They're on the front row. What can you do? What are you going to say to provide a sense of comfort for these students who are a part of the campus community, who saw all this unfold, who have very real feelings about what happened here today?
Chancellor Guskiewicz assuring the campus community that there are counseling resources available for the students and faculty and staff as well. And he says we really do need to come together now and comfort each other in a way we can move forward.
Yeah, thank you, Akilah. He did say also, Steve, that there was nothing more important on that campus for the 30,000 students there than their safety, pleading with them to use the resources. So that's his call out tonight for people to make sure they use those resources that the university provides to students tonight.
Let's take you now live to the campus building where this happened, the Caudill Labs. It's a chemistry building that was built in 2007. Sean Coffey is our reporter there. Sean, we just saw that that zoom in to the window pane there that is shattered, presumably by it's a bullet hole there. Tell us more about what's happening there at Caudill Labs.
Yeah, this is really tragically where this all, we believe, took place earlier. Obviously, the focus of this investigation right now is the area around that window and the lab on the other side of that window. I'm not sure if the shot was up while FBI were still out here taking photographs, but if not, there's a number of FBI investigators that are still on scene here in addition to campus police. Those FBI evidence gatherers were taking photos of the window. They've been periodically in this area right behind me here with the wood chips and the pine straw, kind of scouring, looking for evidence there as well. Police presence here has increased. There's probably about a dozen of those FBI investigators. Now you can see some other law enforcement walking across this crime scene as well. But as best to our knowledge, I mean, this is obviously an area of focus to them right now. This is the first visible sign of the shooting that took place here earlier today that we've seen on campus. I mean, we were here for hours, and our staging area was several hundred yards down South Road. They weren't allowing any media to get anywhere close. So this is really the first visible sign we've seen of any shooting here on the campus of UNC, this sort of tight little crime scene here. But for the last hour or 2 hours, we have seen these FBI investigators come out. They've been taking photographs. They've been kind of combing through the ground. I would imagine they were looking for a shell casing, any sort of remnants from that bullet or glass. But obviously, this is still very sort of a focal point of their investigation at this hour here.
Yeah, Chief James sort of outlined the timeline there, saying inside that laboratory, 1:02 is when the 911 call came in of shots fired. By 1:04, just 2 short minutes later, an alert sent out to the university and the sirens on campus there, alerting people that some danger was imminent there on campus.
And then it was about an hour and a half later when the suspect was taken into custody. Sean Coffey at Caudill Labs, thank you very much. Let's move on now to that point where the suspect was taken into custody. The times would correspond. The news conference, at the news conference just now, 2:31 was the time given for the suspect taken into custody. And at that same time, Josh Chapin was talking to an eyewitness who shot video of someone being detained and taken into custody.
That video being shot around the same time. Josh Chapin joining us live now to talk more about that. Hi, Josh.
Yeah, and Lauren and Steve, I know we pressed the chancellor as well as the UNC police chief about whether the person we saw in that cell phone video is the same person who is now in custody, the person taken into custody right here around the same area where this silver truck was this afternoon. We can take you to some of the video that we shot this afternoon of UNC police as well as the Orange County Sheriff's Office and the Chapel Hill Police Department here. And again, we talked to an eyewitness across the street. He told me that he had just gotten home from work, was making some food, and his dog started acting funny, and then he realized there was someone who he didn't recognize walking down his street, and then all of a sudden a number of different police officers swarmed this neighborhood. Again, a person was taken into custody. Take a listen to what Mario Villa had to say this afternoon. Do you recognize the guy, or he look familiar at all, like someone who lived on the street here? Or?
No, not at all. He did seem like completely unarmed and everything, so I was like, maybe he was just going for a stroll, but he did look really tired, so I was like, maybe he's on the run.
So a lot of questions here. He did, according to Mario, had a backpacks, and we saw the police department, a variety of different authorities bringing out evidence. So don't know if he came here to toss evidence. The authorities would not elaborate on that. Mario said he didn't seem armed, so unclear if maybe they found some evidence behind this scene here that they're not telling us about. Mario also telling us that his mom is a teacher at a local school district, said that was quite a frightening afternoon for him and his family. We can continue to press the authorities as to what the connection was here. Stephen, Lauren?